Siega, executive producer and director of The Following.
So what inspired you for the show?
That's really Kevin Williamson. Kevin wrote this thing, and he came up with this about 15 years ago as a feature film, and it's been sitting on his shelf for a while. And when we did Vampire Diaries together, we often talked about what we'd like to do next. And he said, "I have this great project. I'd like to dust it off and take a whack at it." And when I read it, I was like, "Are you kidding? This thing is amazing." And but it's really, I can't take any credit for the genesis of it, the concept. It was all him. Once we started developing it and working on it, then the partnership grew out of that. But it was really his idea.
So it was going to be a feature film?
He originally conceived it as a feature film.
Do you think it looks better as a series?
I do. I mean, he didn't show me the feature script. We started talking about it, and I knew it was a feature script, and I only read the pilot version. So I think it works better as a series because I don't know what the other one would have been. But it has a life. It has a longevity. We know what the first 2 seasons are going to be. So I think a feature would have been fairly limited.
What caught your attention at the beginning of the story? What was the element that said to you, "This is fantastic"?
It was a combination of actually reading the pilot and knowing where it was going, because it wasn't purely a serial killer show. It is a human drama. What you'll discover as you move into subsequent episodes is you're going to start to fall in love with characters that you really shouldn't be falling in love with. And you do that because the stories are so interwoven. You see elements of people that you want to enjoy watching. Like any good television show, there's a character that you gravitate to and you're like, I want that. I want to see more of that story. We have 4 or 5 of those, and we're doing episode 6 right now, and I think every episode we're putting a little bit of weight on different characters, and I think people are really going to tune in to see what happens to their favorite characters. It's not just a serial killer show, and I saw that right in the beginning, and that really attracted me.
Okay, I was just going to ask you, was Vampire Diaries the extent of your relationship with Kevin for the show?
Yeah, I did the pilot with Kevin, and then I was a producer on the show. So he was in LA, I was in Atlanta running the series. But we just worked, we clicked. Every once in a while you meet someone professionally that you just understand each other, you see eye to eye, you have a shorthand. And I have that relationship with him, and I genuinely, I did 10 episodes of Dexter, so I've worked with people who I really admire and respect, but somehow Kevin, I can almost, when he says, I have an idea, and he starts it and I go, I know where it's going, it's great, perfect. We have that vibe, so it feels like we've been doing this for a long, long time, and it's only been about 4 years.
You mentioned it's not a serial killer show, so it kind of seemed to me, this new pilot, that it's a serial killer show and kind of a cult show. Does that sort of give you a big playground to
It does.
do things in?
And most of my research was cult members. I didn't even, actors were doing research on serial killers, and I kept thinking it's really about a guy who can convince these people to do these horrible things. And is this grounded in reality at all? And I started doing research on cult members like Jim Jones. How does somebody convince 900 people to go down to a country and drink the Kool-Aid and kill themselves? And it's fascinating because it is real, and that's what makes it horrifying. It does open up our world, because you can look around you and you say, anybody here, you don't know who they really are, you don't know how impressionable they really are. And I find that to be a really fascinating aspect to the series.